All right, guys, well, I'm back today continuing the series of knife and EDC shopping at different retail locations, and Lowe's has been much requested on the channel. We're going to head in, see what they have when it comes to knives and EDC, maybe grab a couple of things, and then head back to the tabletop to look them over. Let's head in and see what they've got. All right, guys, well, I'm back from Lowe's, and we spent about $127 before tax, and I got a lot of different items. I'm going to be opening everything up and kind of going over the quality of the items, especially some of the new kobalt knives that they're offering with D2 steel on the blades, and this micro little kit right here full of different wrench bits, as well as hex bits and Torx bits. So pretty awesome. Now, the first thing we did was pick up like the EDC King of Storage, the Kobalt Mini Toolbox. Now, I did a video on this a while back, and surprisingly, they actually had these in stock at my Lowe's in 4 different color variations. We'll open this up and show you guys, but it's an awesome little EDC organizer, especially for different knives and flashlights. We did pick up this kit right here and some of the new Kobalt knives. Again, D2 steel on these flipper knives. We'll see how they are once we open them up. We also picked up the classic Kobalt folding razor. I haven't gotten one of these in a while, so I figured it was about time. And then some real nice keyring organizers and pull ties. So a few of these were in the rope section of Lowe's, and a few were in the key making section of Lowe's. This one was actually on clearance, and this was pretty cool because you can actually loop the cord through, wrap it around, and then tighten it off and cinch it off, and that was about $4. To go over the pricing, we are looking at the 2 folding knives. This was $29.99, and this was $25. And this is not a bad price for a knife with D2 steel, but we'll see how they hold up. The next thing I want to mention is going to be that utility kit, or the actual mini tool kit right here. This came in right at about $30 as well. This is a 32-piece set right here, so that came in at about $30. The toolbox was $20, and these key rings were various prices you can see here, $4 or $5. So not a ton of money on those key rings, and then $8.98 for the folding razor. But let's open it up and take a look. So we've got everything opened up, and let's start with the toolbox. It's got a nice upper drawer, and it's got a few different little cabinet pullouts, and it works out pretty well. Again, I've got plenty of these. I've actually have 3 or 4 of them, and they work out great. I can show you guys kind of how you can neatly organize all of your pocket knives in here. Stack them in, so when you're ready to go grab your EDC items for the day, you can pull it open, grab your knives, grab your flashlights, and then slide it back shut. The closest comparable Amazon toolbox to something like this is going to be about $30 to $35. So having this come in at 20 bucks is a great add at Lowe's. It's definitely worth grabbing something like that. Now, let's take a look at the knives, starting with the big blue one. This is heavy. It's bulky. It's got these huge metal liners in it. It's assisted opening, and the blade to handle ratio is almost comical. It's a massive handle and kind of a truncated blade. It's half serrated, not super sharp out of the box. It's a crossbar lock, but you go to close it, and since it's assisted opening, it just loses a lot. I do not like this knife. Is it going to be a bad knife to use? No, it does have blade play to it. It's for 30 bucks. I think there's way better options on Amazon that I've reviewed. So not a big fan of this knife. Is there anything inherently wrong with the knife? I wouldn't say so. It's just the blade to handle ratio is not great. I don't love the action on it. There's blade play to it. The assisted opening is okay, but overall, just kind of big and bulky. No reversible pocket clip on this guy. Again, not a deal breaker, but just not my favorite knife at all. I would personally stay away from that one. I would not purchase this knife. Even though I did purchase it, I purchased it for review. The next one is actually not that bad. This is the $25 one. The blade to handle ratio is actually a little bit better. No assisted opening, so it rides open smooth with the flick of the thumb studs. There's no flipper on the back, but the action is actually fairly smooth on this guy. The lockup's pretty good. Definitely a heavier knife, but no blade play in this whatsoever. And overall, pretty interesting. No reversible pocket clip. Fairly deep pocket clip, though. I mean, it carries below the pocket line. Fairly good action on this knife. D2 steel, metal handle. This I would consider a halfway decent knife, especially for 25 bucks. If I was picking between these two knives, this is a go-to all day. So if you were in Lowe's, you maybe traveled somewhere, you took an airplane, you couldn't bring your pocket knife with you, you landed, you were going to Lowe's, this would be a great add-on to grab for 25 bucks. It's not the sharpest out of the box, but overall, not the worst knife in the world. Not too disappointed with this guy. Definitely better than the other blue knife. The razor is the classic folding razor, not a ton of blade play. It actually comes with razors itself. And overall, a fairly decent knife. You've got a spot for a lanyard if you wanted to tie it off to a toolkit or something like that. So overall, these are pretty decent. I actually like these. They're nice to go pick up and grab. And honestly, for like your everyday box cutting tasks, these are really convenient because you can easily just swap out the blades on these by simple as putting that down. And it comes with the little blade guard on there if you wanted to leave that on there. So for 9 bucks, definitely worth it. I really like that. Now, this toolkit is pretty sweet. Now, it was a little bit pricey, but you actually get the wrench itself and the extension head. So you can either put these in right here, lock them into place, and then ratchet it, or click it over and then ratchet it the other way, which is really awesome. So, I don't know. I love that. And then you can get that bit out of there, put the extension in if you had to go a little bit further, and use that. So this is really awesome. It's really organized, super easy to store everything in here. It also secures all your bits really well, and I can see this coming in handy a very great deal. I actually have it in the wrong location. There we go. Put it right there. I could see this coming in handy, especially if you're traveling or if you're building out a mini toolkit. I recently built out a mini toolkit. This will be going in that toolkit, and I'll probably do another video on a mini toolkit now that I have this guy right here. I can see this just being incredibly convenient to carry with you. And then these little key rings are just pretty standard. They're pretty slick. I was looking for something to clip onto the end of this guy right here. I was hoping this one would do it, but it's not quite big enough. But they have different sizes, so I'll probably be buying the size up next time I go to Lowe's of these little key rings, or maybe even going on Amazon so I can clip this ferro rod on the end of a knife. But in summary, guys, Lowe's has a lot of pretty cool stuff. The highlights of today were absolutely the toolbox and this mini toolkit. The razor was pretty decent. I personally stay away from the kobalt knives, but this one's not that bad. Like, if you had to grab one, this is not the worst one in the world. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Have you tried any of this stuff, and what shop should we try out next? I love hearing your suggestions. Let me keep hearing them in the comment section below of what shop we should try EDC and knife shopping next. I also have, again, a ton of videos where we do Walmart, Harbor Freight, and a few others, so definitely check those out. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.